Sometimes it depends on the window we look through that determines our lives. Once upon a time, there was a young man who worked as a groundskeeper for a country club. And one day, while he was watching the shop at his old country club, he discovered a very special window in the storeroom. It was almost a magical window, and yet it looked like any other window. The window was divided into 4 panes, 4 smaller window sections, and at first sight, each of the sections looked identical. The young man took some window cleaner and a cloth and rubbed. He began to clean the window panes. When he looked through the first window pane, he saw people thinking, talking, and acting in an attitude of, "Look what they are doing to me." The young man saw his own whole life as a fight against another person, like they got 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream and I only got 1 scoop, where I feel cheated. Where I compare myself to others, they have a new car, new house, new baby, beautiful wife. They can play golf or tennis when they choose. When the young man looked through this window pane, he saw such. He saw others thinking like this, and he saw himself thinking and acting like this. This window pane really did bring pain. The young man rubbed and cleaned off another window pane, and through this second window, the young man saw the opportunity for him to serve right where he was. It is where I see the beauty in my own life and in my neighborhood as I go about my travels in my neighborhood to my work and to my play. Looking through this window, I see my part to play in the whole scheme of things, and it lets me focus on that part versus personality. In other words, when I look through this window, I see what I can do with what I got where I am. I see my part in the play. I see a higher purpose. The young man thought this was interesting. It was interesting to see his life looking through this second window pane. And then the young man cleaned a third window pane, and he found it to be a very special window pane, a very wonderful window. In this one, when one looks through this window, one sees the beauty in the world around him. One sees little glimpses of the beautiful things, people hugging, people walking and talking together, families together doing the things that people do, 3 generations at one time. Through this special window, one sees winter scenes, leaves falling, spring budding, and summer heat, spring flowers, lizards climbing, and dewdrops on leaves looking like little jewels. And one sees where the fog and dew bring out the spider webs, a wonderland of spider webs woven around us that we did not even know was there. And through this window, one can see trees resembling church steeples. One can see white egrets fishing, and one can see trees highlighted by the sun going down in the sky in the evening. Still, the young man found a 4th window pane, and on this one he rubbed and cleaned and rubbed and cleaned. It was worth it, for this was a very special window. And when the young man looked through this window, he saw something he wanted to do for another person that day. He saw something he wanted to do for someone in his life. And it was this view that helped him get out of bed. To a friend.
Thank you for watching. This chapter was about the window we choose to look through and how that choice quietly shapes our lives. Sometimes the world does not change, but the way we see it does. And when our vision changes, our hearts begin to change too. This is a gift from EC. Until the next chapter of More Stories by EC.